Hey guys, this is Alex, and welcome back to the Two Dudes, Brews, and Reviews podcast. Today, Austin and I are talking about All My Heroes Are Cornballs, the 2019 album by experimental hip-hop artist JPEGMAFIA. We go through the album track by track, but we also go off on tangents about ASMR and Keenan and Kel. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast, and if possible, share us with your friends. With that being said, we hope you enjoy the show.
What's happening, brother?
Man, not a fucking thing, dude. I can't think of anything exciting that's happened lately besides us almost dying in a tornado a couple weeks ago. Although that might be a little hyperbolic of me.
Well, didn't get close to dying or anything. There was a warning in our area. That was enough to get my balls up in my tummy. Because that shit was stressful as shit.
Because the area we live in, like Middletown and like the whole Miami Valley area, I've always heard that tornadoes are unlikely in the area because we live in a valley. There was like 3 or 4 that touched down. I mean, there was one about 10 minutes away in Gratis, and there was 2 that touched down in Middletown, apparently.
That shit was scary, man.
I was more scared for my wife because her biggest fear is tornadoes. And she's at home texting me like, "Are you off work yet? Like, please leave Domino's and, come to the house.
Come comfort me, damn it." And
I was like, a tornado just touched down like 2 miles away. Like, I'm not going to fucking get in my car.
You on your own. Sorry, honey.
Our house has a basement. I know that because we're sitting in it right now.
How did the dogs fare in the whole tornado warning? They probably had no fucking clue.
I'm sure they smiled and breathed heavily.
Yes.
If I had to guess. They were probably happy because they got to go down to the basement, which is, they don't go down here very often.
It's like the playground. It's a secret place they never come to.
Yeah, what's been going on besides that? What about you?
I just spilled a drink before the podcast started all over myself, so that was fun. That was pretty exciting. I'm a little sticky.
That's all right.
We're drinking Moscow Mules.
Yeah, this was your choice.
I'm really channeling my inner white bitch tonight. So, the lady had one at dinner about a week ago. I was like, "Damn, that's pretty good. Like, should have got one." And motherfucker, I have one, so it's fun.
We have infinite. Well,
we have a source, damn it, that we can keep pulling from if we want it.
Yeah, we have enough to last us through the night.
I don't have to pay $12 at dinner for one, to say the least. So, yeah, I'm hyped.
Is this one as good as the one you had at that restaurant?
Well, it was Elizabeth's drink, so I didn't consume the whole thing. Although I did keep sipping on it, and she got pissed. But, look, like, honey, I'm buying it. You go give me a sip, goddammit.
That's right.
But, yeah, it's good. It's not to measurement because I spilled it. But it's fun. On that note, Getter, what's the topic today, bro?
Dude, we're talking about JPEGMAFIA. His album, All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
Are all your heroes cornballs?
Some of them might be, yeah.
JPEG's a pretty cornball.
I think he kind of embraces that aspect of his personality, though.
He embraces the meme lord status. Okay, dude, so, like, not gonna lie to you, I had a tough time on this one.
I had a feeling you would.
Yes. I'm not upset. I'm not mad. This ain't no Jack and Jill, but it took me a while to like be even remotely close to digest the album. It took me up until like 3 days ago to be like, okay. But then I'm still like, I'm still in the I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm in that category.
I'm kind of glad that you're in that category.
All right, good. I'm gonna play motherfucking devil advocate tonight.
Good.
All right, good. I get to embody Alex Getter tonight, so I'm excited.
Fuck, dude. I might play devil's advocate on my own record that I actively love.
So like, fill me in because a part of me understands the appeal, but then another part of me is like, like I don't really vibe with this. Like I can't get all the way on board.
Yeah.
Like what is the appeal?
The appeal.
What makes the album a positive listening experience for you?
Oh man. I feel like I'd have to like summarize all my thoughts, and that'd be a little difficult.
Well, just give me some of them.
I'd say that the production is number one for me. It's very, I mean, obviously it's experimental
and chaotic.
It's very chaotic, and it seems random at times, but at the end of the day, I think it somehow comes out to be a cohesive product, at least to my ears. This record's not for everybody. Mm-mm. Like when I was researching the record, I went on Reddit, and the top comment about this album was, imagine telling your parents that you think this is good music. And yeah. I was like, yeah.
Sounds all right, because there are times in the record where I'm like, my ears need a break so bad. Like, I need a minute to rest. I think I got like this album fatigue trying to like suck it in, and it was just wearing me the fuck out. There may be like some sort of relaxing aspects of some songs, but all the songs pull so many different samples and like can come out on the other end sounding like something different than what it started as, and then it also is just as chaotic as it started. So it's like hard to like even have like points of reference to like relax on, or like think about hooks and verses that like kind of like catchy, or like that could be like de facto in a way, like a de facto single like you can reference to. Well, like Jesus Forgive Me, the first track on the record is like something I always recognize when it comes on.
It's probably the closest thing to like a structured song that the album comes to.
Because I remember listening to this record prior to like you suggesting it on the podcast, like having listened to it beforehand. I start with this song, and then like probably by like Tight Beat and like Grimy Waifu, like I'm tired. I'm already like mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
So like I usually have always given up, like trying to listen to the whole thing. I know I'm not the only one that's probably shared this, opinion, but I also know like he's kind of revered as like everybody likes him. Like
he's like a little bit of an underground kind of cult class, not cult classic, but cult favorite kind of guy.
I don't know how he has amassed so many dick riders. Like, I mean, I get it because it's unique and different, and it's kind of like, like you just have to get it kind of thing. To be in the club, you just have to get it. And I know like some of the best records are the most challenging, but this is like on a different level of challenge. At least for me, it is.
When I recommended this and you told me, like I had a little bit of apprehension in the days following when I recommended it, because I was like, did I make the right choice? It's not a record that is on its 5 or 10 year anniversary. This is less than 2 years old. And I kind of already had an idea of what you thought about him, because I remember when we were both on Apple Music, I didn't recommend the album to you back then. You saw that I was listening to it, and you came to me and you were like, dude, what the fuck is this? You're like, I hate this album.
Did I really say that?
Like, close to it. That's not verbatim or anything.
Dude, so much shit happens where I'm like, I forget what I say.
After I recommended the album, I hadn't listened to it for a while. For some reason, it was just on my mind when it came to be like my turn to choose something. And then I listened to it for the first time in a couple months. I thought I had cooled off on the album. I had this feeling like, oh no, like when this first came out, I was like riding the initial high of its weirdness. And like now I'm like, oh man, like this isn't fulfilling my musical needs all that much. That happened for a few listens. And then a couple nights ago, I was up real late editing our Interstellar podcast, and I had, 1 or 2 old fashions, and I put the headphones on, and I was like really in the mood to hear it. And then it was like one of those times where I was like, damn, this record's really fucking good. Like, I think it's more of like you have to be in the right mood to hear it.
Yes. Okay, so I'll second that with, it was actually last night at work, I was listening to it, and I knew that there were points where like I was like actually listening to the record, and I was like, okay, like I'm getting it. I literally said this out loud in the car. I said, fuck. I was like, shit, he's right. It was one of the few moments where I was just like, okay, I get it. And then work goes on, and that like feeling had like dissipated because I couldn't like get zoned in,
You have to get in and out of the car
Yes.
and go into Domino's. Yeah.
And it doesn't help to play on the fact that like a lot of the songs, pretty much the whole damn album transitions into itself, like song track by track. Mm-hmm. They lead into another.
If you're not looking at like your phone or whatever when you're playing it, you might not know when a song ends or begins. Yeah.
Today, when I listened with notes, I was not in the mindset to listen to it. So like coming into this podcast, I was really anxious about like, okay, what am I going to be able to say about the record? Because it's hard to be like, oh, this sounds like this. First off, it's just hard to digest because it's like sample after sample, clip after clip, vocal sample after vocal sample. And it's just like, it's really hard to like have a frame of reference.
That's okay. I'll guide you through it.
Yes.
I'll try my best.
I need your help because it was just like a real fucking tough challenge for me.
And I think I have an answer to the question you asked me earlier about what the appeal of the album is. Mm-hmm. For me, this album embodies like internet culture. Like I feel like I'm listening to the dark web or something. This album is like if your computer has a virus and you're getting pop-up ads. So like no song ever stays structured for very long. Like you might see, calling them songs is even kind of a loose term. They're more like a bunch of rap vignettes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the songs don't really follow like a set structure, or like a traditional structure. It's not like hook, verse 2, repetition.
And there's like some catchy moments on the record, and like when you hear it, you're like, "Damn, like that's the chorus right there." And then like they don't repeat.
Yes,
like the song will taper off, and then there'll be a beat change, or like we're listening to somebody order a bacon smokehouse at Wendy's or something. You know what I mean? So it is kind of hard to get a grip on like each individual track, or like I feel like the highlights are moments more than the songs as a whole. And sometimes that's one of the things I like about the album. And when I'm not in the mood, it's the frustrating thing about the album.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Like I know leaving the podcast, I'll probably have a deeper appreciation for the record, but as like a casual listener, like this is not something I would have sought out. It's tough to digest at times. So,
oh yeah.
Do you want to go track by track or do you want to pull highlights? Because this is a pretty long track list.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, it is 18 tracks. It's only as long as
like every other studio record.
The Half Moon Run record that we did last time was probably around the 40-minute mark. Mm-hmm. This is only 45 minutes, long total. We can like pull out highlights, I think, because there are certain songs in particular I want to talk about, and there are some I want to criticize a little bit too. Okay. So, we can go that way.
So I like the first track. Like I said, that's the one I've heard the most.
I think the first track's fucking awesome.
It's catchy as shit, bro.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about like thematic things too, because like you said, it is internet culture, and it'll be fun to comment on as well. Mm-hmm. But like, Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought.
Dude, the song titles on this record.
Bro, bitches be like, put fuck God #1 in their goddamn bio. And it's like, that shit doesn't belong there. You do not, you are.
Wait, what are you saying?
Bro,
what
like
are you
just,
trying to say?
Let's just, listen. Get that shit out of your bio, man. Like, that shit just aggravates me.
Wait, what brought this up? Just because of Jesus?
Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought. Like, that's what I think of. I think of bitches that
I'm not sure how I didn't pull that together.
That are like, family and God first. Okay, that shit just aggravates me, okay? I have nothing, I have no problem with whatever religion people choose. But if you ain't no practitioner of your goddamn religion, get that shit out my face. This is one of the reasons why I don't have social media.
Don't be a poser for God.
Yes. Don't try to fool us.
You know what? I agree with you. Like, I'm not a religious guy or anything, but like when I see that, I recognize it.
I see it and I go, I spit on you. You're trash. Yeah, it's a good song though, because he kind of he's making fun of like, he does a good job of like capturing the culture. There are like few artists that really can like parody well. It's like if Weird Al was a thing now and like didn't copy fucking Michael Jackson. He's the young black Weird Al Yankovic.
Should have that replaced the
Brian Wilson.
the song Black Brian Wilson?
I mean, he makes reference to he's young black Ali G. I mean, that makes sense too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, you're right. That's do a good job of like capturing internet culture. I didn't really think about that.
I think this track kind of embodies everything that you're gonna hear for the rest of the runtime, but like it's like consolidated into like 2 or 3 minutes. Because at the very beginning you get the "You Think You Know Me," which like appears all over this record, and it appears all over his previous record too. Which, do you know what that's from?
No.
Do you know the wrestler Edge?
Okay. No, but I'm sure you can fill me in.
Oh, his theme music used to start with that vocal.
You know me?
You think you know me? Yeah, and it's like on his first album, he sampled like directly from that guy's like entrance theme music or whatever. But like all over this record, every track has a different take on that little DJ tag. Because like sometimes it's like whispered or like somebody else will say it. Like that one girl is like, "You think you fucking know me," or whatever. It's got a lot of personality.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think maybe that's one of the things I like about it.
Yeah, it's a DJ tag or a producer tag.
But it's not the same thing every time. But we get that "You Think You Know Me," and we get glass breaking and people screaming. This is the first literally 3 seconds of the album.
Yeah, it sounds like it was like recorded at a concert.
Yeah.
It sounds like a large crowd.
But this song transitions like effortlessly through a lot of styles very quickly. Because like the verses are kind of like jazz rappy in a way. I mean, it's got like a very like laid back kind of tempo. These like synthesizers and guitars in the background. And then when it goes into the pre-chorus, all of a sudden it's like industrial and we get distortion and like his delivery changes from laid back to like screaming, all to just lead into a big auto-tune catchy chorus. It's a very weird mix of, elements coming together.
It is the most catchy chorus.
It's so good.
This is what I'm talking about when I think Instagram bio bitch. Show me where the profits go. Show me how to keep my pussy closed. She said you better count your blessings for real. Amen. Like that shit just, that's what I'm getting at, okay? One of my favorite lyrics. Pray for my babies, they do in time. Pray that these crackers don't Columbine. Has there ever been a mass shooter that's not white? I'm sure there has been, but let's look at the statistics here. I'm gonna go with 95% of them.
Yeah,
95%.
There's a lot of like white people dissing on this album. Sometimes I think like he's like dissing his fans in like a fun way, and then sometimes he's dissing like rednecks and stuff that he doesn't like. Like I know that comes on some tracks that are coming up later on in the record.
I don't think rednecks are a beloved group of individuals. So
no, they're not.
Okay. They say the church leave us all behind, speaking in tongues like I'm David Bryan.
You know who that is?
I do not.
It's the lead singer of the Talking Heads, and they have an album called Speaking in Tongues. So that's the reference right there.
Okay. Another internet culture reference is ASMR. You ever listen to ASMR, Getter?
I can't say I have.
It's not that bad.
Really?
For a while there, I did.
Is it supposed to be calming or something? Or?
Yes. In moments of high stress, I tend to listen to it for like I'll get like on a kick for like a day or two.
What kind of noises are you listening to?
Pussy farts. I don't know. Just
I think you're onto something
just
here.
Whatever, just whatever. Pussy farts.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's funny.
This is already our most outrageous episode. It's fitting.
Yeah, it's calming. Nah. I only like it when, like I said, when I'm stressed out. If I need to really be like, hey, you need to cool the fuck off there, guy. You were getting a little too hot.
Damn, if I get hot headed, I just listen to like the Antlers or something.
Dude, the Antlers. They'll come one of these days on this record. Or on this podcast, I should say.
I'm sure they will.
Keenan versus Kel. What is that a reference to? Is there?
Have you ever heard of the TV show Keenan and Kel?
No.
What?
Mm-mm.
Damn, you're a...
Is it like an MTV thing?
It was on Nickelodeon. Do you know who Keenan Thompson is?
Yeah, and I figured he had something to do with it.
Yeah, it was like a Nickelodeon like comedy sitcom.
See, I only know him from SNL. So like you know what I mean, and like I'm not like some SNL guy. So
I'm not really either.
Yeah. That was probably part, your upbringing is a little bit different than mine as far as like.
Oh, there's a
TV
little bit of
shows.
age difference and stuff. Yeah, yeah, dude. Keenan and Kel was sweet. Coolio did the fucking theme song. Wait, do you know who Coolio is?
Like
Gangster's Paradise.
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
All right, sweet.
Yeah, bro.
So we got a reference point right there.
That song is goes hard as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what song goes harder? Amish Paradise. The
what is that? A Weird Al?
The Weird Al parody
God.
of the song.
Jesus Christ.
But
that
yeah,
sounds right.
It's a reference to Keenan and Kel.
Okay.
I think that the song is supposed to represent the characters in the show, because Keenan was like the calm. I don't want to say honest. It's been so long since I've watched it, but he was like the one that was kind of like the voice of reason, and Kel was like the chaotic one. And this song is split into two parts, and the first half is like the Keenan part, where it's like the jazz rap and all that.
Okay.
This song is like the first track on the record that has like a beat change, and it goes into that like that punk, like, you know, like the punk guitars enter the fray, and it's like we kind of get like one of our like first big tastes of JPEG being really fucking aggressive. And I wish that this part went longer than it does. Really? Yes, because I think there's not many of those on the album.
I was gonna say, this is one of my least favorite songs for that reason.
What?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's the mindset, man. I'm like, this is too much for me.
Bitch, I came back with the Jack and Daxter off the shelf.
Jesus, that shit's scary.
That's tight, man.
This is like one of the... This whole song, like this whole record is like an acid trip. And,
yeah.
And this is like the uncomfortable parts that I'm not willing to bear on the consciousness.
I thought that would be something that you liked for some reason. Because, like, remember when we talked about the Half Moon Run record, and we, like, both gushed about the song Razorblade? Because it had that really aggressive change of pace in the second half. I know they're not the same, but, like, I was kind of thinking, like, it's the same attitude a little bit.
But that's like some sad melancholic shit. This is like some 5-star GTA shit Rampage that I'm like not, you know, like I'm not here. Like I don't want the stress. I want the, you know what I mean? I want like the pent up anger, not the
actual release.
Not the murderous rage part of it.
I don't know, I kind of like it. We won't skip ahead just yet, but I think I already have a feeling what your opinion on beta male strategies is going to be. I think the song's really tight, man. It's I love the jazz rap part in the beginning, and it's got some like pretty quotable lines, like "Neighbors waiting on the peg, like I'm dropping Yandi," which still hasn't come out, by the way.
Nope, probably never will.
Too black, too strong. I'm a little thoughty. If you send it in Mario's to defend me, you better make sure to break all the Grammys, kill all the losers, winners, and nominees. There's like not a whole lot of substance in the lyrics on the album. It's just like reference.
Yes. It's like the Ready Player One of albums.
Yeah.
It's like, let's take every IP I can think of and put it right here.
Like we're just jumping between ideas, and like he's never really rapping about any one particular thing. That's one of the things I like about this album. It's just kind of a trip. I don't know.
It is a trip.
I can't believe you don't like the punk part, bro.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'm sorry. No, I like beta male strategies.
You do?
Yeah. This is actually one of my favorite songs.
Well, why is that, Austin?
I like the sample. I get like a 90s anime vibe for some reason, and I don't know how to describe why I pull reference to that.
Is it the vocal sample you're talking about? Like
yeah,
or whatever?
That. I don't know why, but like it just gives me such like an Adult Swim, like Toonami feel, or like type vibe, I guess. Or like Ghost in the Shell. Like, I know you've heard me talk about that plenty. I've only ever seen it like once or twice, but
yeah,
it's just like, it's kind of like Android-y in a way. I don't know. It just reminds me of like a little Artificial Life, kind of like a little Kid A type shit. And just, like, the vocal,
I can see that.
You know what I mean? Like
the
vocal sample is just a little removed from human, because that kind of like keeps that tempo for the majority of the song. And I just like the concept of talking about being a beta male.
It's a lot of people shit talking on social media and
like internet warrior shit, you know?
I like that too a little bit.
Like I like here's one thing we've both seen. The new Bo Burnham special.
Yeah, Inside?
Yeah. That did a really good job of like capturing internet culture.
It did, yeah.
And one of my favorite things is he's like, can we all just like shut the fuck up? Just shut the fuck. You kept saying shut the fuck up for like an hour. And I was like,
it was awesome too.
I was like, yes, thank you. People are loud on the internet.
I want to say like, yo, man, I agree with you. And then I'm starting to think about my own choices. And I'm like, damn, I've been pretty loud on the internet too sometimes. Maybe I should start looking inward.
You got to do the ghost. You got to post and ghost. Remove yourself from the cesspool of the internet.
As in reactivate your Instagram, post one picture, and then deactivate again.
Yes.
Very awesome, Purdue.
When I reactivated it, it took me 3 days to be like, I'm out. Like, I was like, I can't do this.
It's kind of stressful getting, like, pulled into everybody's lives because you're only seeing, like, the best version of them. Well, sometimes, unless you get on Facebook and someone's like,
you get to see the worst.
My baby daddy's on crack or whatever, which we see a lot of that around here.
My grandma is a Trump supporter and I'm not. Or has anybody seen this lost dog?
It's tiring and stressful.
Yeah, it eats up your brain. And I don't got a lot of brain power to go around, so.
I think this is a favorite track of mine, but I find it a little frustrating sometimes when I listen to it.
In what ways?
Just like you, I enjoy the vocal snippets that come in, and like the percussion is very like, it's like stomping and hand claps a lot of the time, and it builds up to this like part where these like very scratchy dissonant guitars come in, and it feels like the song is building to a moment of like total chaos, and I'm waiting for it to happen, especially right after the part where like the fuzzy synthesizers come in, and he comes in with the is this the one with the Glock with the dick? I was gonna say
Glock with the dick, yeah.
Like, it sounds like it's gonna get like really fucking crazy, and then as soon as that peak is about to hit, it just cuts you off and it goes right back to the original sample.
I actually like that.
Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I guess it depends on like the mood I'm in. Although if you're looking for the chaos, I guess it comes up immediately after on JPEGMAFIA type beat. You know, that song is a fucking trip.
Sorry, I just started laughing thinking about pussy farts.
Well, who wouldn't?
Shit was funny. Yeah, what were we talking
about? Nothing. Podcast is over, guys.
Jesus Christ.
I'm just kidding.
Funny as fuck.
Piss break.
So tell me, like, JPEG type beat, what's the sample? I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's from a group called Atari Teenage Riot, I think. Is that what you're thinking of?
It's like the most bizarre choice of sample.
It is.
Yelling or something?
There's a reference point for this, though.
Okay.
When JPEG first came out, or like when he first broke through with his last album, it was called Veteran. There was a lot of people online that would compare him to like Death Grips, because his last album was like way more aggressive than this one, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
All My Heroes is kind of like the calmer, pop-friendly record.
Hard to believe.
Yes. But people were comparing him to Death Grips. So he titled the song JPEGMAFIA type beat and then made a song that sounded like Death Grips. So it's kind of like a satire, I guess. It's also making fun of like YouTube hip hop culture, where you're like, all these like local rappers will go on YouTube and be like Drake type beat or something. You know what I mean?
I've actually witnessed this. I'm not going to say where, and it wasn't here, but I watched someone trying to rap, and
how'd that go?
Well, they were looking up type beats, and I was like, oh. Person pulled out like a sheet of paper, like that had their rap written down on, and I'm like, and then he was like, no man, I really ain't feeling this beat, and I'm like, what am I seeing? Like, what is this? What are you doing?
How'd the performance go?
I exited the building.
Oh, you just like got in your car and left?
It was at a gathering, and I was like, I'm gonna go somewhere else for a little bit until this is over.
Presumably to another city or a state or country,
to
get away from them.
Yeah, I went outside and I socialized with people. I was like, this is not my thing, so I'm gonna exit the building, and then life got better, you know.
That's good. Sometimes you got to get away from the toxicity
of our city.
No, not on the world.
I referenced that song at work the other day, and no one got it, and I was like, fucking degenerates don't Y'all don't understand good music. It's not even. Never mind. So like, but it transition to grimy waifu pretty seamlessly. Like, this is one of those moments where you're like, oh, another song has started.
JPEGMAFIA type beat kind of transitions into like a synthy, like Odyssey kind of looking, like sounding thing before hopping into grimy waifu. I can't fucking talk tonight.
It's fine.
I'm getting my English degree and I can barely speak it.
Well, you're white and you're American.
Yes.
Those are already two factors against you in English speaking, because we ain't know how to talk around her. So it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I'm trying my best here, people.
But Grimy Waifu is like the more melodic track.
This is a track highlight for me.
Is it?
Yeah, I'd say so. Something about the instrumental on this one, you get these like twisted acoustic guitars.
Yes.
It reminds me of like a Legend of Zelda soundtrack or something. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I'll have to go back and listen to it, because is there a Zelda game that you could reference?
No, I've never played them.
Oh.
which makes my reference point even worse.
No, it's fine. I only played one, and that was Breath of the Wild. I like never got past like a couple hours of playing it because it is so massive, and I ain't got time for that no more, you know? There's that English speaking for you.
There you go.
But hit the vape because it's needed. I fall asleep like Tempur-Pedic. This is the first vape reference I think I've ever heard in a song.
Well, if you're gonna hear it anywhere, it'd be on a JPEG here. Song. Yeah. Is as an anime kind of guy, you're not like a expert on anime, but you do like some of it.
Yeah, if I have something that I'll get into, but like they're few and far in between, and I really don't have time to watch them.
The term waifu is a reference to anime girls?
Yeah, I'm not that kind of anime guy.
Okay.
I ain't
what do they call them?
Simps?
A weeb?
Yeah, weebs. But
this song weirdly doesn't have references to like anime at all. It seems to be about a gun.
Mac 10. Is that what you're talking about? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mac 10, bro. That's like one of the worst Call of Duty weapons.
Is it?
I think. I don't even know which. I think it may be Modern Warfare 2. I'm trying to think. I think the Mac 10's in Mac 10's in CS:GO. I hate it. Counter-Strike is the worst game ever. Like, it's the best. Like, it was a great cultural game, but if you
We're jumping topics like this album jump sounds.
But if you play CS:GO for like more than an hour, your day is ruined, because
I've never played.
There is so much toxicity, and it turns you into an asshole. So I've had kicks before where we used to play as like with a bunch of friends and stuff, and dude, we would just like, I would succumb to the hate. Like, I would be like, you quit team killing, like, you fucking, like, just shit like that.
So it's not a fun game.
No. Damn, all that off a Mac 10 reference. But like, just, yeah, don't play that game anymore.
Yeah, the song's like a weird romantic ode to a gun, which is like a weird take on it, I guess, but
that's like some 90s rap shit that like doesn't belong. From JPEG. I mean, he's not like some fucking crime lord.
No, he doesn't like present himself in that way.
Unless he is. We don't know it.
Like, he presents himself as like violent at times. Like, there's a lot of like masculine posturing, but at the same time, he'll kind of bounce back and like go into like acting kind of feminine on certain tracks. You know what I mean? He'll say some stuff like, I'll put you like underground something, and then the next line he'll be like, I hope you're healthy and you hit your prime. Like, he'll like be like complimenting you and dissing you in the same two bars. Like, it's very weird, like juxtaposition sort of.
Hey, that's good vocabulary right there. What does that mean? Fill me in.
Like contrast.
Ah,
yeah, using my fancy college words.
Using your synonyms, bro.
I think after this point in the track list, here's a critique for me. Not a whole lot of new elements are introduced after the first couple songs.
Yeah.
I think for the majority of the rest of the album, you kind of get these like big heaps of vaporwave and like jazzy rap and 2012 style cloud rap. It's very like SoundCloudy.
Oh yeah, this whole record's kind of SoundCloudy. But like the deepest, darkest parts of SoundCloud.
Yeah. And I do think that there are like highlights after this point. PTSD is like one of the more aggressive songs. and then we like go into the title track, All My Heroes Are Cornballs, which kind of takes like a pop rap approach to things.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like it could be a hit, but the way it's produced is like done in the Peggy way, where like the instrumentation sounds like your CD is skipping, or people just start talking out of nowhere, and like the ad libs are like communicating with each other, and it's just fucking weird, man.
Yeah, he does a good job of not making himself, applicable and appealing to a mass group of people, which is something I can appreciate. I mean, I'm not saying all mainstream shit is bad, but like I couldn't tell you the last like Billboard top 10 album I've listened to. I mean, I couldn't tell you. And I'm at the point now where I'm in a niche of things I like, and I look forward to those niche releases. The last top 10 would be like Damn by Kendrick. That would be like the most prolific artist I think I would have listened to.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like he would be somebody on the top charts that I had listened to, like in the mainstream,
I can't think of anybody else. No.
You know what I mean?
I can kind of see like JPEGMAFIA taking the Tyler the Creator course of his career. His like beginning work is like really difficult. And I think that this record is miles ahead of any of the pre-Wolf or Flower Boy stuff that Tyler the Creator did.
Is this his sophomore release, JPEG?
I think technically it's his third record, because he has his debut is called The Black Ben Carson, and like that record, I've never heard it, and I like haven't seeked it out. I don't even really care for Veteran that much. It's got its highlights or whatever, but I could see him going in a direction like later in his career where he starts to do like, he'll soften up a little bit over time. Like he did it on this album.
He did on EP2.
EP2 is like a lot of cloud rap type stuff, but minus the weird glitchiness of, this album. Before we know it, he's going to be doing neo soul, and Pharrell Williams is going to be on his songs or something. Yeah. He was on the latest Brockhampton record.
Yeah.
With a pretty straightforward verse.
And yeah, he actually fit really well on that. I feel like that instrumental was made for him. Like
I could see that. Yeah.
Just like real basic. Do, 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 do. The same freaking loop over and over again. That works for him. I can see, like, because I actually like EP2.
Yeah.
And you, on the other hand, you're like,
I thought it was a little too regular.
You're like, this ain't hitting. It wasn't scratching your itch. But to me, it was more digestible.
I can see why too.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that weird Peggy, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with you like Modest Mouse.
I love Modest Mouse.
Exactly.
Well, like pre-2005 Modest Mouse, yeah.
So like, I tried to listen to what do you call it? Good news for something
for people who love bad news.
Yeah. There's some like hard to digest shit in that.
Oh yeah, and that's like their breakthrough like mainstream record.
It's okay to like the weird shit.
I mean, I just think like some of it has like extra personality sometimes.
Yeah, it's like nice to see like when artists like really go out on a limb. I mean, I can appreciate that. That's all. Like that's what I'm getting at. It's just it's tough when shit feels so commercialized. It's like tough to really feel like you found something unique. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You want that breakaway shit. You want that shit that breaks away from the mainstream.
Yeah,
that rebellious shit. There's nothing wrong with that,
dude. On the title track. The All My Heroes Are Cornballs. I feel like he really spits on this song. Like during the last half at least. When he's like, he goes in and he's like, damn, guess who had a big year? No whips, no chains, just a few tears. And then he goes on to say, Glock 43X with the sticky holster, pistol whip him, I can't waste a bullet on a poser. Incel is getting crossed because I crossed over. How'd they go from Anne Hathaway to Ann Coulter? Do you know who Ann Coulter is?
She's like a Republican commentator or conservative commentator.
That's like a big theme on this record, kind of anti-Republican.
Dude, I can't stand either side. I'm in the middle category.
I would say I fall middle, slight left. We're about to get into a political discussion here. They're all full of shit. That's my summation right there.
If they're on TV, someone else is feeding them.
Seeing fucking AOC feuding with people on Twitter.
Yeah, that drives me nuts. All of it does.
It's like, y'all get paid so much. Stay off social media. Yeah. For the love of God.
I have a real problem with politics, so I don't want to be on anybody's fucking team. I'm on Team America, goddammit. World police.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, like just I'm your friend until you're not, okay? Like that's my ethos. That's what I operate on. I'm like at the point where like people usually are at like in their midlife where like they've been able to sift through the bullshit, and I've already sifted through the bullshit. Like I already clicked with me a long time ago. That like you're gonna vote the same as your parents did, or you're not gonna vote at all. Like it's just, you know what I mean, just some.
Well, shit, I vote opposite of what my parents did.
Well, fucking,
bullshit, dude.
It's a goddamn show. It's up there with WWE.
So at least that shit's fake.
Yeah, at least it
doesn't affect the population of an entire country.
Yeah, at least it doesn't fuck with your economics and shit. Oh, I want to say, I like the intro on this track where the sample is JPEG because I like JPEGs for the resolution color. He's pretty self-aware.
Very, yeah. Did you enjoy the snuck up in Coachella with the bong, little buddy, Jaden Smith line?
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. Dude, Jaden Smith. Listen, I appreciate some of Jaden Smith. Like, the other side of me is like, nah. Like, I like you, but also, like, you're an industry plant. Like, literally
kinda,
to the highest of form. The bad thing is that he's only famous because his dad is famous. He's a part of a famous family. He's like the Kardashians.
Like some of those songs that popped off on, what was it called? Sire. I feel like it was just because he had a big enough budget to make good beats, you know?
Exactly. Like I like the beats, but the lyrics I don't. I mean, you could put another rapper on top of that and someone could have had a heyday, but his lyrics don't stand up to the quality of production.
I think as we get later into the record, some of the songs start to lose the personality a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a middle portion of this album where I think it's a little bit like it really emphasizes the vignette nature of the album. I do love Rap Grow Old and Die and All My Heroes Are Cornballs. And once we get to like BBW,
I like that song.
I enjoy these tracks, but like they don't feel fleshed out enough. It'll be a verse and then we're on to the next ambient interlude to the next song. You know what I mean?
And they're like a minute to 2 minutes long. So it's not like there's really a lot to grab onto. And the other thing is like, life's hard. Here's a song about, is it Sorrel or Sorrel?
Sorrel, I think, yeah.
What is that?
Pointlessness.
That shit can be cut. And
oh, yeah. It just like, it doesn't feel like it serves a purpose. Because earlier you said that you have a hard time finding time to breathe on this record, and you would think a track like that would kind of serve that purpose, but it's just as dissonant as other moments on the record, but minus the quotable bars or the catchiness.
Yeah,
it's a completely pointless slice of drone, bad auto-tune.
That and I don't like Dot's freestyle remix.
You don't like I stuff a Glock in my bitch pocket. Bitch, stop it.
Like you're right though, because shit starts losing like the shit isn't as important, and it doesn't feel like much a surprise anymore. This late in the album, like shit starts losing its meaning a little bit. Where like it ain't hitting like it did in the first few tracks. I guess like a criticism, something that I think maybe the album could benefit from is like 2 minutes of just instrumental, maybe some sort of like complex sample that you can like that's littered throughout all of these tracks. Maybe it's more melodic. You can give like a break from like the corny lyrics and like fucking gang rap and then like political and like pop culture references, and like just leave like a minute to 2 minutes or minute and a half of just like some cut up sample that is littered throughout with no lyrics on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just something that maybe I'd like to see.
Give the listener a little bit of cake.
Yeah.
Like something kind of sweet.
I know it's like possible, to say the least. Like he is capable of doing that, and it would be beneficial in my opinion. The record itself is already complex enough though, so it's like I'm nitpicking when it comes to like once.
It's the frustration kind of continues when we get to a track like Prone.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the more aggressive cuts on the album.
I do not like this song.
It's one of my least favorites. and I think it's only salvageable because of one particular line. I'll get to that in a second. The song is very punk sounding, but there's no guitars on this track. Apparently it's all synthesizer, and he wanted to make a song that sounded like punk without any instruments. And like it does sound aggressive, but the start and stop nature of the song, where it's like the drums come in and it establishes a tempo, and they stop, and now we have to have some like weird interlude part in the middle of the song where he's like, what the fuck does he say? I understand
what you're saying.
It's just like he starts talking, and then the drums kind of drop out.
So then it doesn't. When I think of punk, you want like bridges and shit. I literally just wrote down aggressive murder anthem, like for my notes. Like it doesn't really have like none of these songs have structure, but if you're going for punk, it doesn't scream punk to me. It just it
doesn't have much of like a mission statement or anything. You know, the only part I like is the line, "One shot turns Steve Bannon into Steve Hawking."
Yeah.
And it's like he ends off this track kind of on that. So like when you hear that, you're like,
nice.
Hey, that wasn't a bad song. But then when you really think about it, you're like, well, what about the, previous minute or two?
Yeah, then it like comes into like some weird like talking about the ocean and trees and birds and the bears.
The interlude, yeah.
Yeah, like I understand like that's littered throughout the rest of the album.
I feel like I need a reference point for some of this. Like it feels like an inside joke that I'm not in on.
I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to like I'm thinking about like the Wizard of Oz maybe. Like, you know what I mean? Or like this whole fucking album's an inside joke, bro.
I think it picks up a little bit of steam around the track Thought Tactics.
Yeah.
This song is like one of the catchier like cuts on the album.
Yes.
The chorus on this one is legitimately good, I think. And it does have a chorus that repeats more than one time.
I want to rock your world, bro. I want to be your girl.
You want to take me out? Yeah. Like, that part, I think that part is really tight.
The auto-tune is it's like kind of flat.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like melodic. It's like almost like whatever he's being tuned at does not match his like pitch. Yeah. It's like kind of like gives like this flat chorus like melody.
That's like kind of a reoccurring theme on the record. There's a couple parts where the auto tune doesn't really pan out, but then there's parts where it does. Like on Jesus Forgive Me, like on that song it sounds really great. And I'm just thinking like, is he sabotaging the song on purpose because like that's what he does?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I think this is like when you're trying to sit there and like analyze and digest a Radiohead lyric, and you're like, what does it mean? But it's like, we ain't never gonna know. And this is like to the extreme case of like, why do you do this? Do you do it out of like some like manic decision to be like, okay, and like this is what we're doing? I think he just
does it because he can.
Exactly. Don't derive too much meaning from it. You can, I mean, and that's what art is as well. Like you can derive meaning from whatever the fuck you want. But
I feel like this is like purposely anti-meaning sometimes.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm getting at. It's like, I'm going to just fucking confuse the shit out of you real fast.
That auto-tune, the flatness really comes in at the end of this track where he says, I can't compete. I'm going to do you like blank did me.
Yeah.
And like the note goes like way off of the chordal spectrum. Like it does not match the key of the song no more.
That is the worst feeling. Okay. So when we play guitar, and if I make a mistake when shit goes out of like our chord progression that we're playing, I'm like, fuck. Like, I'm like, I just ruined it. That's what it feels like.
Except this is on
a studio produced album. Yes.
Yeah. Some of his, I don't want to say his wordplay, because like nothing, he's got quotables on the album, but like none of it is like smart, as I would say. But it sticks out in a weird way for some reason. Put the keyboard down, get the Mac out, pulling up on this pussy, and I'm pulling out. Like, it's so dumb, but every time I hear it, I'm like, that made no sense, but I'm so into it right now.
It's like we shit on the last J. Cole record, me and you.
Yeah, I've already forgotten everything about it.
Exactly. But we're in the camp of like, oh, I like that, but it doesn't make any sense. And I'm going to digest it and call it gospel. But on the other hand, there's so many negatives about it. This is like the modern art of fucking albums.
Here, meant to confuse the masses.
Here's a banana on the wall for $1 million. Shit like that. And like people eat that shit up.
I have a feeling that you like the song Free the Frail.
I do.
Is this a highlight for you?
Yeah, that is one of the calmer songs on the record.
Mm-hmm. It's also one of the more structured songs on the album.
Like, I don't want to dwell on the fact that shit's so unstructured that I can't get with it, but when a song isn't structured like the majority of the record, because like music theory, there's a reason for it. Like, there's a reason why shit works and why shit doesn't, because it's pleasing to the ears. When shit is not pleasing to the ears and you have to, like, make a conscious effort to appreciate it, even because it's not working, such a struggle for me. This song is, like, one of the more normalized songs on the records.
Like, brings you back up the pace. Well, yes. Here's your breather right here, honestly.
I need more breathers, but yes.
Yeah. He gave you one.
I get uno mas. So... is this like the only feature? Well, no, but it's like the...
kinda, yeah.
I think what Dot's freestyle...
It says it features people, but like I've listened to that song 100 times and I don't remember any other person's voice being on there, you know? Dot's freestyle came out of a Kenny Beats. You know who that is?
Mm-mm. Is it a producer, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm. He's like popular on YouTube. Does a lot of like skit type comedy and like joke rap and stuff. But I think that song originated from a session on his show, and he just brought it onto the album.
Okay.
As far as like features go, this is the only one that I can think of.
He would benefit from more. Well, like you said, did that collaboration with Brockhampton on their most recent record.
He's had features on like Danny Brown's albums before and stuff, so he does a little bit of work like that. I think it being so early in his career, maybe he's like trying to make a statement for himself. It's like, this is me, like this is my record, like I'm gonna do whatever I want. In the future, I could see him doing more collaborative work, which I would appreciate. I want to hear JPEGMAFIA and Earl Sweatshirt on a song, or something like that, or like
who was I said this once, FKA Twigs.
That would be tight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I want to hear him do a song with James Blake, or you know what? Weirdly enough, I could see him and like Justin Vernon from Bon Iver doing something together. Yeah. It sounds weird in theory,
but Kanye had Justin Vernon on.
Yeah,
it worked, and because it was heavily auto-tuned,
I could see those two artists somehow coming up with some weird thing that would work.
Well, Justin Vernon, like that music can be pretty chaotic at times, especially like 22 Million.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's pretty chaotic for an indie record. So, you know what I mean? So it's just like, it would work. The female vocal artist on this, very nice. I liked it.
And we only get her like at the end.
I know. And I'm like, feed me the substance which you are giving me.
It almost feels like an epilogue to the song. Like I don't want to say an afterthought, but like she comes in after the instrumentation's already over. So like her entire feature is all like a cappella. But it does sound very good. Like I do like that it's kind of done that way.
You can litter this shit in on another record. Like, have more of this. If you're going to throw shit on at the end of songs like he does, like, that shit works.
Like, it doesn't always have to be a skit.
Yeah. When you do shit like that, sometimes, like, you can feel like there's another song tagged on the end of the song you just listened to. There's a song by Daniel Caesar. He did a cover of Kanye West's Streetlights. And at the end of that song, he just, like, it cuts into, like, an acoustic performance of, like, a song that, like, it sounds like he's singing in a subway. And it's so, like, I just got to listen to a whole song, and then you tagged on, like, this 30 to 40-second clip of, like, some shit that sounds really nice and clean. And
Are you thinking, like, I want to hear that song?
Yeah, I want to hear a whole fucking song like that produced. But it's tagged on the end of a song, and like, so you get like two parts. You like, I get to listen to this and I get to listen to this on the end, and like it can keep you like wanting more. You know how we on the Common podcast we both agreed that like I just want to hear B looped forever.
Yep.
Leave me hanging, and like shit like this would be nice on other songs. That's all I'm getting at.
I mean, this song stands out because it's obviously a breather from some of the more chaotic stuff, and it's more structured.
Excuse me.
God bless you. Another reason why this song works a lot more for me is it feels like the first time on the album that I'm hearing from the human JPEGMAFIA and not like him putting on this facade of like reference, blah, blah, blah. It feels like he's actually trying to make a statement on the song. And it kind of goes into the theme, or I guess saying theme is a little loose for this album, but like the title of the album, All My Heroes Are Cornballs. The chorus of Free the Frail is, don't rely on the strength of my image. If it's good, then it's good. Break it down. This shit is out of my hands. Kind of like, don't look up to these like big figures. Like they're like not really in control of their image all the time. And like, you shouldn't like put them on a pedestal. If it's good, then it's good. Like their art.
This is something that Kendrick had commented on that leak. Remember that song?
The Bowie sounding one?
Yes. It literally went through like Michael Jackson and Martin Luther King and then him. And it's saying like leave the artist separate. He's saying like how you just said, you can't really control your image because the image is like a reaction to like your art and like your work or whatever, your career. Your public appearance is really only like a reflection of like the reaction. And then he's also just saying like if this shit ain't good, then like it ain't good, but I did it, you know?
Like the shit's out of my hands. Like the art, like you put the art out into the world and now it's like, it's the audience's art now. It's
someone else's to claim.
It's no longer the artist anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a weird, side train right there, but I feel like it's the only song on the record that explores that theme, and you kind of get a glimpse into JPEG himself,
like mindset.
I want more personal stuff from him in the future. Like I like that this album is so consumed with like all these references and like internet culture and all that
jokes and shit.
And my clothes are dry now. I don't know. I don't know if the mics picked that up, but my dryer is singing us a song.
Hey, that could have been a sample.
JPEG could twist that,
Yeah.
He already uses the PS4 notification sound on one of the songs. I can't remember which one it is.
Is it BPW? No.
It might be. It's on one of the post-song interludes.
I want to talk about BPW because we skipped over it.
Did we?
A little bit.
We kind of talked about it, but we can go back to it.
I was going to say, this song kind of gives me like Logic vibes. At least the instrumental does.
It's a little boom bappy.
Yeah,
sorta.
That's what I'm saying. Like SoundCloudy. JPEGMAFIA meets Incredible True Story beat. You know what I mean? Like some shit right off of that. And I liked it for that reason because I found a little bit of like structure to stand upon to try to listen to it because it reminded me of Incredible True Story for like a little bit. I haven't listened to that record in a long time.
I haven't either. And that's why I think I can see where you're coming from, but like my memory is so blurry.
I want to
stuff.
Well, it's hard to find reference points in this record, so it's not like this is one of the other reasons why it's so challenging to talk about this record. When we talk about albums, it's like, okay, I have to remember how this sounds because there's no visual accompanying. Hold on.
Accompanying?
Yes, there's nothing like.
Well, I can't say I really nailed the word either.
Let's just say that there's a visual aspect to movies that allows my brain to pull reference to when you're trying to talk about music. Okay, this sounded like this. I can look at lyrics, but like
it is
lyrics.
harder.
Lyrics are just like a small part of the song, honestly. Yeah. So it's like I got to remember, and then we're talking about that, and then we're talking about not a guitar or drums or a keyboard or any sort of string instruments. We're talking about samples and vocals and synths and fucking PS4 and like 8-bit sounding shit and like and like screaming and like gunshots and shit, and like that's what we have to talk about. This is chaotic, so it's just harder to talk about. But post-verified lifestyle, Ford F-250,
two of them with the Wi-Fi and the nitrous booster.
That shit's funny.
So this one kind of starts like a little more aggressive, like kind of like PTSD or Prone, and I'm feeling like fucking you up.
Yeah, it's the young Black Ollie G. I think it's funny that one day maybe we'll have a blue check mark and we'll understand what the post-verified lifestyle is like. But it's
just funny that like that's the reference point for the song.
Yeah,
like my whole life changed once I got that blue check mark, you know?
I have power.
I think this song stands out because of the portion that comes after the beat change. There's a reoccurring theme of this like female in the studio with him. And at points it kind of feels like you're in the studio with them on like certain parts where he's like, I want you guys to clap.
Yes.
Like they're like recording, you know, like certain instruments and stuff.
And like he just leaves that shit in there like it's like some shit that gets cut prior to the whatever they're doing gets sampled.
He's like, fuck it, I'll just throw it in there. I love when she comes in and she says, we playing with pencils for fun?
Yeah.
And he actually says, we playing with pistols for fun.
Yes.
Like, I kind of like that, but the track takes an unexpected detour into like jazz rap again, which I think is like one of my favorite things that he does. But I really love the lines, oh, you think you're up and coming G? Nah, up and comers really think they me. Bitch, I'm Beanie Siegel mixed with Beatles with a dash of Doom and 98 degrees. Fucking Beanie Siegel, Beatles, MF Doom, you know, pop group, 98 degrees. Like, weird reference points and stuff, but...
He's a cultured individual.
But I just now noticed he says, hit the Mueller, let me down with ease. Is he talking about Robert Mueller? Like, the guy that was investigating, like, the Donald Trump's...
Yes.
I never even knew he said that at the end.
Hit the Mueller, let me down with ease, baby. Like, talking about...
Like, don't disappoint me with this investigation, which ultimately happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the No Scrubs cover. Every time I've heard like a No Scrubs like remix or like a lo-fi version, it's always like added layers to the song, and this is just like a stripped down, slower tempo, which is like different. This is like a very famous, popular song.
Very famous.
Yes.
Yeah.
So interesting to see that like it's just in here.
What's the story behind the title, though?
I don't understand.
And I feel like that'd be a question that you asked me, and I'm the one familiar with the record, and I'm asking it. What the fuck does that mean?
Basic bitch tear gas? Is it like a grenade with like Starbucks and incense and...
I have no idea, for real. That's kind of a smart thought right there, though. And this is a very brief track, so we don't have to focus on it too long. But it starts with like some folky guitars that sound like they recorded in somebody's basement. It's like super like quick, you know, it just comes up and then it's gone. And the cover itself is nice.
Piss break.
We back.
What's your thoughts on Buttermilk Jesus?
Buttermilk Jesus. It's alright, I guess.
There's a church in our nearby area that has a giant Jesus statue. They used to call him Big Butter Jesus.
What? I never even put these two together.
Those are some buttermilk folk that like to go to that church as well. God, this drink is so fucking good.
This one's even better than the last one.
Yeah. I wonder why that is.
Look at you going and down yourself. Making it a part of your attire.
I'm absorbing the drink with my liver and with my t-shirt. So
it's just an interlude. I mean,
yes.
There's nothing crazy about it.
It's a little bit of a departure from the last type beat.
It does kind of make me laugh every time it comes on. Butter. Because this guy comes in, he says, damn, buttermilk Jesus.
Yeah.
On his last record, Veteran, like the big tag was like, there was this woman that'd come in and she'd be like, damn, Peggy, constantly. And that doesn't really happen on this one. So maybe this was like a reference of some sort. It's not crazy. There's like no progression. There's no like, here's where the beat starts and here's where it ends. It kind of just like, it's sort of one note.
Yes.
You know?
Poppy, I missed you.
I think this ends the album off on a strong note, and I don't know if you'll agree or not.
I disagree.
Y'all like this one? Why not?
I don't know. I guess it works as far as like album structure goes. I feel like this song's a little bit more, at least the way it starts. I think it's got like a little bit of like a poppy sample.
On this song?
I think so.
I find this one kind of ominous.
Okay.
No, go on.
I feel like not poppy, but like, God damn it. How do I describe it?
It's more consistent in tempo than a lot of songs. Like the beat is established and it kind of keeps going that way. There's no weird glitches or nothing on this
Maybe that's
one.
why I think it's poppy, because it's the most normalized.
And it's got a chorus.
Yes.
it's not like a super melodic chorus, but it does repeat. I think the song's a standout because of the bars. But what is it about it that you don't like, really?
Big strap looking like a dildo.
Bro, heard white folks like beer.
All right, maybe you're right. Are you mad because you see me up in your Whole Foods? I get it. Okay, you're right.
Especially the lines, I'm a terrorist, I don't spit raps, bitch, I spit rhetoric, and I be in your kid's mind getting leverage. I hate old white neighbors, I'm prejudiced, but I'm going to take your neighbor's money like a reverend. And then he says, trying to lead these neighbors to freedom, Peggy Harriet. Target practice on an Aryan. Redneck tears. Woo. What a beverage. That is so fucking hard, dude. All right. Those lines in a row.
You're right.
I think it might be like one of the hardest like consecutive bars on the record.
You might be. You might have just put my dick in the dirt, guy. Another Columbine reference. Bowling for Columbine. Documentary is about the Columbine massacre.
You ever seen that?
I have not. I've actually heard it's like not 100% accurate. Is that right?
Yes.
Isn't there like...
There's a little bit of audience manipulation.
Yes. In it. Yes. I remember this.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it, but I've heard negatives.
A lot of
that
people...
was 3 years after the fact, too. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It was kind of like a gun control sort of documentary.
Yeah, it's silly.
I watched it when I was like in high school, and I remember nothing about it.
All right. Listen. This was the toughest fucking podcast I've ever had to do.
Tougher than I'm thinking of ending things?
No, because... And I'm thinking of ending things, at least I was like... At least I know I'm getting fucked in the brain. This one, it's like... I think I get it. That one, I was like, I don't get it. Help me. It's
That's fair. I mean, I kind of knew that you'd be a little on it.
I'm not mad. I mean,
no,
at
that's
least
the whole
know.
point. That's the whole point of the podcast. We can disagree, and
at least I've been shown it, or like I've had to listen to it, and I've had to like at least derive an opinion. I think I like some of it, but I don't like all of it. Is that fair?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
that's fair.
I understand why people have positive regards for it and for him as an artist. I don't have that understanding yet. I haven't like unlocked that key in my brain yet where I'm like, I haven't arrived at that like conclusion.
The light bulb above your head.
Yes,
kind of moment.
I haven't had the enlightenment yet when it comes to this record, but I like some of it.
I can't predict what he'll do in the future, but like maybe one of his future albums will be like
the one that
it'll like make you realize, and then you can go back and then maybe get into it.
Dude, literally fucking later, I'm gonna be like, man, this record was kind of good.
We'll listen to it,
and I'll be like, huh. And I'll have you hear his commentary, and I'll be like, damn, maybe you're right.
That's how it usually goes. If you had to rate it,
which I am going to right now,
and don't feel afraid to give it a low rating if that's how you feel, because I would do the same thing. What is the score?
Like a 6 out of 10.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I would give it a 7, but this ain't no goddamn Abbey Road.
Boy. We about to fight.
But yeah, like 6 out of 10. I get the appeal, and I understand as much as I can understand. There's shit I'm going to have to come back to and like digest again. I swear, like in a month, I'll like return to the album and with like fresh eyes and be like, in fresh ears, and just be like, huh, I like this song now, and I like this song. I'm like, oh, I understand this more.
I think if you would have asked me what my score was like the month after this came out, I might have like given it like a fucking 10 or something. Like I was like really riding the high of the uniqueness of this album. And like it came during a time where I wasn't like really thrilled about any other hip hop releases. So I was like, wow, this is like a breath of fresh air. Like this is so fucking unique. Peggy has versatility in his like the way he approaches songs. Like he can do the jazzy rap, he can scream, he can sing. You know, like in the production's all over the place and wild and detailed and textured and and like over time I have cooled on it a little bit. And I recognize the flaws in it a little bit more Because I remember thinking this would be one of Fantano's 10s, and then he gave it like an 8 or something, and I was like, what? But currently, I would say I give it like an 8.5, maybe. It's the results have kind of dwindled over the time it's been released.
It's pretty fair for you.
I don't think this is like his classic. I think that might be in the future. He can keep doing the experimental thing, but like structure it better. Like he'll figure out like his like pop songwriting a little bit better, and like he'll do features. And the best Peggy album is coming eventually. So that's my take on it. Sorry for the overlong explanation right there.
No, I'm here for it, dude. But, no reason to apologize. I was listening.
But
I think that's fair from you. At least you're being honest and you're not. You're going back on your previous thoughts when it first came out. So I agree. I understand that from your perspective. I know I can see why you're giving it. When it came down to like personal enjoyment, like I understand like what everybody else thinks, but like to me, it's sometimes that shit wasn't hitting.
Yeah,
and it might. And also, like I've been on this like a little bit more of like an indie and like folk new Half Moon Run EP came out, and we both really liked it. And like I've been in like that frame of mind.
That EP was like really tight.
Yes. And then I've been on like a lot of like more math rock shit. And then like I've been on like neo soul as well. And like
so like this recommendation came at a weird time.
Yeah, like it was like a departure from like what I had a taste for. So like it may come back. Like I might get like in this big rap kick again. I think Brockhampton has another record coming out at sometime during this year, and I'm sure like once I get on a rap kick again, I'll be like return to it.
I think I recommended All My Heroes because it's like the complete opposite of the Half Moon Run record that we just did, which I enjoyed like a lot of parts on that album, but that one was like a little on the safe side.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, we're going to do a 180.
We're about to jump into the deep end.
We're going to do something fucking weird.
Yeah.
But, Austin, it is your turn to recommend the topic for not next week, the next 2 weeks from now. Lay it on me, brother.
Do you have a guess? Do you want to guess?
I was initially going to guess The Lighthouse. Is it it?
Yeah, it is. Nice.
Well, did you have a spiel? Did you have a spiel like I usually do?
All right, so listen. You recommended JPEGMAFIA, and I was like, that shit's chaotic. So I'm going to match it with another chaotic movie. And we're doing Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse, starring Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe.
I can't tell if you're parroting me or like a 50s guy that you'd meet at a diner.
Both. But yeah, that's what we're doing, man. Damn, good. Damn, I almost didn't pick it too.
Well, you know what? I've been wanting to see this movie for so fucking long.
And I've been wanting you to watch it for a long time too, so I thought it's time.
Once we started the podcast, I knew you would recommend it eventually. So I put off watching it even longer. So here's my shot.
Dude, I cannot wait to talk about this movie. I've seen it one fucking time.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to talk about it.
Dude, I'm psyched, man.
This is like...
You know I like to be a little disturbed when I watch my movies.
This shit is like the epitome of like art house horror, bro. Like this shit's just bad nice. And I don't even like horror movies. Like I don't like shit that stresses me out. Not into it. I'm ready though. Like I'm ready to watch this movie again. I've put it off for too long. I'm ready to be stressed the fuck out.
Am I gonna laugh?
Yes. I can't wait for you to see this movie. I can't wait.
I'm gonna laugh at some disturbing stuff probably.
It's so great. It's so fucked up.
Dude, I look forward to that, man. That's gonna be awesome.
All right, sign these motherfuckers out.
Adios.